far enough along in the new user primer for the events calendar that it's time to set up our first event. Now, it's worth noting I'm not going to be walking you through the recurrence setup process here because we have a subsequent screencast that's going to address that, but I'm going to show you how to set up a single standalone event, and that's what we're looking at right here, is the Add New Event screen. Now, if you've ever set up a post or a page on the WordPress side before, you're going to know that this is very familiar because this is just a custom post type. Not a lot has been reinvented here in terms of how the formatting for the title, the description, etc. appears. Title, description, excerpt, publish, categories are pretty much all the same as what you would see when setting up a new post or, in some situations, a new page. I'm going to fill in those fields, and then we'll get down into the event-specific stuff, which is down here in the events calendar section. Got my title and description. I'm not going to worry about an excerpt because my description is so brief, no excerpt is really needed. I'll plug in the categories I want to use, and then I'll scroll down and we'll get into actually determining our event details. First up is when is this event taking place? Well, I'm going to click into here to the start date and time and select from the date picker when I want it to occur. Have it be the 1st of July. Notice that it updates the end date to reflect that to match what I have here. And if I wanted to make the end date further out, say I wanted this to be an event that ran from the 1st to the 4th, I absolutely could. This is a birthday party though, and a birthday party is brief. It's going to be all contained to within this day that's the 1st of July. And I can set the fixed hour range over here on the right. Notice right now it's set to start at 8 o'clock a.m. and go till 5 o'clock p.m. Watch what happens to those time fields when I check this all-day event box. They're gone. It doesn't give me the option to select an hour range because I've already told it I want this to be an all-day event. All it's going to publish as then is it taking place on and ending on July 1st. That's also a bit too extreme for me though. My birthday parties never go that long. More realistically, this will probably run from 8 o'clock p.m. to 11 o'clock p.m. It's not going to recur because this is not a recurrence pattern. I'm going to leave it as none. And again, we'll check out the recurrence patterns in a subsequent screencast. But right now we've set when the event is taking place. We know it's going to be on July 1st from 8 o'clock p.m. to 11 o'clock p.m. Cool. Next up is the location. Now it's worth noting in 3.0 we have ported saved venues and saved organizers from Pro to free, which means that if you're using the core of the events calendar, you will now see this dropdown and can use any of your existing organizers or venues. In the past, you would have had to re-enter them every time, which we got feedback from users is not a particularly positive experience, and we wanted to make it easier for everybody. So now your venues and organizers are going to be saved whether you're a Pro user or not. Here I'm going to set up a new venue so that anytime I come back and create new events, this new venue I'm about to set up will be an option in the dropdown here. And so I can set it up once and I can come back and use it anytime I want down the road. I'm not going to worry about a website for this venue, but I do want to make sure that the Google Map is enabled, so I'm going to leave these checkboxes on. Next up is the organizer details. It looks like the site administrator determined that they want anybody who comes to set up a new event to have Chris defined as the predefined organizer. I'm going to go ahead with something else though. I'm going to go into my list here and just say that Modern Tribe is putting this one on. So I'll select an existing option from the dropdown here, and I'll add a new one here. But when we publish on the front end, there's going to be no real distinguishing factor whatsoever. It's all going to blend together seamlessly. If the event has its own website, which is another function we added in the 3.0 release, I can link to that directly. Let's say that, yeah, this event listing is going to give a nice overview of the party, but I set up a whole website specifically for this party. I want to be able to link people to that, and that's what this field is going to do. So I'm going to plug my URL in. And as for the currency, symbol, and cost, I don't need to worry about that because my birthday party doesn't cost anything. All are welcome. Notice that we did incorporate tags here. We've tapped into WordPress's tagging system with the 3.0 release, so if you want to tag your events in addition to categorize them, you absolutely can. You can set a featured image, which has always been an option, but I'm going to do it here because we have adjusted the way those are handled and treated on the front end a little bit, which I'd like you to see. And then I have these two options, hide from event listings or sticky in calendar view. These are event-specific functionalities, and the first one does pretty much exactly what you would think. It allows you to hide this event from appearing in any calendar list on the front end of the site. Now the event will still be accessible via direct URL, but it's just not going to appear in any of the loops on the front end. Sticky in calendar view, meanwhile, is specific to the calendar/month view and relates to those events that you see above the fold on days where you have more than 3 events. Remember that on a day where you have, say, 11 events scheduled, you're going to just see the first 3 of those, and then a link afterwards that says something like view all 11. If you want to determine what those first 3 are, you can select Sticky in Calendar View, and it's going to make sure that they're forced up into that area above the fold. Only 3 are going to remain, but it's just going to go with whatever the most 3 recent you applied this are. So if you want to have some control over what appears above the fold versus after the fold, which means what people are going to see right off the bat versus what they're going to have to click through to see, This little button here, little checkbox, is your friend. I'm not really concerned with either of those right now. I just want to make sure I can go ahead and publish my event and check it out. So let's do it. We're done. I'm going to go over here and hit publish. And you'll notice when I finish publishing, there is now the option to view my event right here. I'm going to click it. And on the front end, we should be seeing our event in all its beautiful glory. Indeed, Rob's birthday, it's taking place the 1st as we expected it to, from 8 to 11. The featured image is nicely popped up here. The description with the ability to import it to Google and iCal. And then the details. When it's taking place, what categories we assigned it to, the organizer, the website. Even got our venue information over here. Not only that, it has a nice, beautiful map linking us through, and we can go check it out on Google Maps if we want to. This is our event. We have created an event. You are well on your way to mastering the events calendar, and if you go look in something like List View, you'll see your event beautifully displays and fits in along with everything else. Awesome. Pro users, jump back, see you in a few minutes. We'll walk through recurrence. Everybody else, I'll see you as we keep going in the events calendar new user primer subsequent screencasts. Thank you.